Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike at filmboy24. Before I get started, there's something I want to bring up really quickly. It's not going to take long. Every now and then, well, pretty regularly, I get emails from people. And oftentimes, you see, I do a lot of processing and scanning outside of YouTube here, outside of this world, for people. Thank you to YouTube for allowing me to do that. But I do a ton of processing and scanning for people. Mainly it's when somebody finds an old roll of film in a deceased relative's attic or garage or a clean out or something, and they want to know what's on it. They'll send me a couple rolls. I've had as many as 50 rolls sent to me before. I do occasionally get a call for movie makers or filmmakers' films, where they're out and they're shooting their own little independent film or a short film or something, or just experimenting with a new camera or a new film stock, and they ask me to process and scan it for them, which I proudly do. Well, one such human is a guy named Jesse Pollock, and he contacted me quite a while ago. I want to say it was about a year ago, and he told me about a project that he and his crew of people were working on, and it's an independent feature film, and it's shot documentary style. So it's basically like a fictional documentary, and it's titled The Point Pleasant Tapes. The Point Pleasant Tapes. Now, if you know anything about Point Pleasant, that's in West Virginia, you'll know that in the 1960s there were the Mothman sightings. And we had some Mothman movies. There's been a mainstream Mothman movie. This one's a little bit different. They're shooting everything in modern day on digital. And it's like I say, it's a found footage, fictional documentary style. So the found footage has all been shot on, you guessed it, Super 8 and VHS. Now, for their VHS, they used an old Magnavox VHS camcorder, you know, like the Beasts. And for their Super 8, they used none other than, I have reviewed it in the past, the Yashica Super 600 Electro. You guys remember that? I did a review on that. I'll put a link to it up there if you're curious about what it does. But he contacted me, Jesse did. And by the way, it's directed by Jesse Pollock and Dan Jones. But Jesse contacted me and said, Mike, would you be interested in processing and scanning all of the film for us for this movie? Now, it wasn't just one or two rolls. They're doing a big film here. So of course, I jumped at it. And to say that this is certainly not a sponsorship. There's no, you know, I was just proud to be part of it. And they paid me, which I almost felt like I was stealing from them because I really enjoyed it. But it does take a lot of time. But they paid me to process all the film, scan all the film. I sent it all back to them, the digital files. And that's what they're using in the movie for the Super 8 portion. So it was equal to, I don't remember, about, I don't know, 15 or 20 rolls of film. And they used all kinds of different stocks. And we did a lot of black and white, a little bit of color. So I was super excited about that. So I got an email from Jesse just a week or two ago. And he was excited to announce that they're doing their big round of fundraising on Indiegogo to try to complete this project. So you can guess how excited I am about seeing this, because I'm a horror film but fanatic. I almost said buff, but buffnatic. So I'm super excited to see where this goes. Very quick synopsis. It's about a group of three guys that in 1987 they take a road trip and they're heading to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Well, I'm not going to get into all of it. You're going to have to check it out on your own. But they vanish. That's the nuts and bolts of it. And then 34-ish years later, mysteriously, some videos were uploaded on YouTube of their trip, of their well, that's all I'm going to say. They were deemed the Mothman 3 or the Point Pleasant 3 or something like that. Forgive me, Jesse, I can't remember what they were, but hopefully you guys are intrigued enough to go and look. There's a huge synopsis on the Indiegogo. I will leave a link to that Indiegogo right down there in the description. And I'm also going to leave a link to their trailer, and check it out because it's freaky. I actually watched it with my 14-year-old daughter, and we really enjoyed it. So I'm very excited to see what comes of that. But if you care enough about, you know, supporting some of this low budget actual film work, feature film stuff, do me a favor, do Jesse a favor, do Dan a favor. Check out the link down below. If you don't want to contribute, I'm sure they are fine with that, but maybe share it, spread the word any way you can. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm excited.